Meanwhile, elsewhere in New York City, there was yet another busy day at the courthouse. President Trump coming out just a little while ago and having a conversation talking about what happened in court today. The president is incredibly upset at Judge Juan Merchan and the double standard at play here. Michael Cohen, Stormy Daniels, all the other players in this sordid, fake hush money trial are out there talking to the media, posting things on social media, and yet President Trump is under a gag order. Now the judge is saying, hey, look, if you open your mouth, if you say anything, you very well could be going to jail. And the president is rightfully upset. I believe there's a lot of righteous indignation there as we wrap up day 15 of this sham hush money trial. So the question now is, what happens to President Trump? The president and his team have asked for a mistrial. That was denied. I want to bring in a special guest who can maybe help us understand where we are in all of this. Dwane Cates is a criminal law specialist and criminal defense attorney based in Phoenix. Dwane, we appreciate you coming on Newsmax today.
Thanks, Todd. Thanks for having me on.
Is President Trump right to be angry at how all of this is playing out in that courtroom?
Oh, he absolutely should be angry. Number one, there's a rule for exclusion of witnesses. So witnesses in a case aren't supposed to hear about what other witness testified to. Okay, they're not supposed to, they can't sit in the courtroom, However, in this case, a witness gets done testifying and they walk out and they put it all over social media. The news stations are running everything. And like Michael Cohen is watching all of this and he comments on it on a podcast. That absolutely should not be taking place, and this case can't survive appeal. It just can't.
Well, of course, the mistrial was asked for. That was quickly denied, even though the judge admitted, Stormy Daniels, the testimony was salacious, went over the edge, but I'm not going to declare a mistrial. Is it possible, when all of this is said and done, that the judge could be investigated, the judge could face some sort of prosecution here?
Probably not. Judges get scolded by courts of appeals. So that's who polices the judges. They're going to look at everything the judge did, and they're going to, they'll write an opinion saying, hey, you did, what you did was wrong. Okay. And, Stormy Daniels should never have testified. She didn't say one thing, not one thing that was pertinent to the crimes charged in this case. It was all about show.
So now you have Michael Cohen, who is up next. That is expected to happen on Monday. Put on your hat as an attorney here, what happens? What do you expect we're going to see in that courtroom on Monday?
Well, it's going to be really interesting. The cross-examination especially is going to be interesting because they're going to bring up every lie Michael Cohen has told. And they're going to, I call it sometimes in my defense for closing argument, I call it the list of lies. And they need a list of lies. And in closing, they need to say, he lied about this, he lied about that, he lied about this, he lied about that. And, they need to make Michael Cohen out to be the liar that he is.
When you look, Dwane, at all of the cases the president is facing, we know that the secret documents, classified documents case, indefinitely on hold. Bonnie Willis in Georgia could actually be pulled off of that case. Is it possible that we could see President Trump get away with, get out of all of these cases?
We certainly could. That documents case, that is horrific. They staged those documents for the press, for the sole, talk about election interference. They staged those documents solely for the purpose of making Donald Trump look bad. And it turns out that's not how they found them. They staged them that way, and that is reprehensible. And I think that case should just be dismissed outright.
And quite frankly, when you look at that, and Jack Smith and his team, they're guilty of the same thing they're accusing President Trump of doing, which was mishandling classified documents, Dwane.
Yeah. Well, you can't do that. That's called tampering with evidence. That's a crime. Okay, what those prosecutors did was a crime. Now, it's not illegal for them to put notes on top of stuff when they get stacks of papers and they collect it. But when they're taking pictures of it as evidence, okay, they can't alter it. They altered the evidence to take pictures of it to make Donald Trump look bad. That's simply illegal, and it can't stand.
So in Georgia, they're still working through all of the chaos there. Under consideration is whether or not to remove Fani Willis from the case. If they do remove her from the case, Dwane, does the case pretty much dissolve at that point? Do they bring somebody else in?
Well, it doesn't necessarily just end the whole case if she gets taken off the case. And they should take her entire office off the case. If they do that, they'll need to give it to another district attorney's office in another county and have them do that. Now, right now, they're in the most anti-Trump county in Georgia. Okay, Fulton County is the most anti-Trump, and that's why they brought it there. Okay, and so if they give it to a different county attorney's office and they look at it, they could say, hey, we're not touching this. Okay, so that's a possibility, but another prosecutorial agency will get a look at it.
All right, Dwane, we're going to leave it there. Appreciate your great analysis. Dwane Cates, thanks for coming on Newsmax.
Thanks, Todd. Thanks for having me on.